What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. I gotta say, I'm pretty amped up to actually review this show. I've seen Rock and Triple H so many times, and I see Benoit and Jericho so many times. But everything else in this car, I watched at least one time. I've seen this pay-per-view maybe once or twice in its entirety. Again, the Iron Man match and the submission match, I've seen so many fucking times, my head will spin. But I haven't actually watched them in a while, at least a couple of years. I feel like the last time I watched Triple H and Rock was probably like in maybe 2020, around COVID time. And Jericho and Benoit, I probably haven't watched since like maybe you know what, the last time I actually do remember watching that match was after I reviewed the Royal Rumble in 2021. I think that's the last time I watched that too. So it's been a couple of years since I watched it, even though I watched them a bunch of times throughout my life. Man, I gotta tell you though, man, the year 2000, bruh. You know what's crazy? Because what is this? Actually, let me hang on for a second. When was Judgment Day 2000? Because obviously Judgment Day is in May. Hang on, are we on the 24th anniversary? That'd be bitching if we are. Holy shit, are we? Nah, damn, that would have been cool as fuck. Nah, we're about 12 days off from the 24th anniversary of this pay-per-view. In about a week and a half, it will be 24 years since Rock and Triple H have wrestled in an Iron Man match. Oh, bruh, I hate doing that shit. I hate when I actually recognize that everything around me is going so fast, bro. I still remember to this very day preparing to watch that show. Sunday Night Heat was on. I still remember that. I still remember playing in my pool, and I still remember I think it was a cat dog marathon, because back in the days Nickelodeon used to have these things where like it'll be because I think this is around, no, I think we're about to, I think I was just about to go on summer vacation, if I'm not mistaken, because we just left spring break probably like a month prior to this. And I think Judgment Day, that was the day when me and my brother were wrestling inside a pool. And yeah, I think that was the day right there. We were wrestling inside a pool. Then we had the rest of the neighborhood kids watching us be weird as shit. And then they wanted to play in the pool with us. That was the same day, if I remember correctly. I didn't watch the pay-per-view, though, as in, like, I sat there and I watched it as far as a clear picture. Now, back in the days, we used to have, like, this fucking, like, they don't have it nowadays, obviously, because, cable boxes and shit. But back in the days, they used to have these things where, like, you could watch the pay-per-view as far as, like, hearing what's going on, but you couldn't see what was going on. It used to be like scrambled and shit like that. It made no static noise, but like it would just be super duper scrambled. And I think the entire 2000, for the most part, I just went up to the TV and just put my ears to the TV and just listened to what the fuck was going on without knowing what was actually happening on my TV. And I gotta tell you, man, those were the days. I feel like kids nowadays, they will never understand. They will never understand the struggle of having a super duper hot WWF and not being able to legitimately not appreciate it. That's a stupid fucking word, because obviously I appreciate it, but be able to like fully indulge yourself within like the pay-per-view in itself, man. And I gotta say though, it's crazy to think that's 24 years ago. And then you think about the other things that are 24 years ago, around that time, 25 years ago. I just used the Donnell Jones song, the "Ooh, say what, say what, say what." I used that earlier today, and someone was like, "Oh, that's a throwback classic," and I'm like thinking to myself, throwback classic. Oh, yeah, that's right, Donnell Jones. That song was 25 years ago. That's fucking crazy. Even the song that tried to sound like it, the fucking rough end song, the "No more shopping sprees, no more late night dreams, no more VIP, no more, no, we can't even kick it." That fucking song ripped off the entire goddamn fucking like the beat from it. I mean, I guess it was the same producer, but still though. And that song's like 24 years ago also. That song came like I remember that song in the summertime of 2000. Like, god damn, bro, everything's going so fast, bro. Talking about Cat Dog and, the 3-hour Nickelodeon special. To think, like, SpongeBob just came out, and that was it's gotta be 25 years by now, right? Yeah, SpongeBob party had its 25th anniversary like this month or last month. Hell, I'm so old. I remember when they were doing the Kids' Choice Awards, and SpongeBob came out directly after that. Yeah, I'm that fucking old that I seen the first episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, and a couple of months prior to that, I seen the first episode of Ed and Eddie, and then a couple of months later, around Thanksgiving vacation, that's when I seen Courage the Cowardly Dog for the first time. Well, no, I'm sorry. That would have been prior. That would have been in 99. But still, though. Damn, I'm getting old. I need to go lay down for a second before reviewing this show. Be right back. That was a really weird finish. I couldn't tell you whether or not that was a botch or not, because it seemed like Angle was trying to wait to the very, very, very last second to break up the count, and the referee still just went for it and counted the 3 without Edge even attempting to kick out. So I'm not sure whether or not that was a botch. Damn! Nevertheless, though, this was a fine match. I like this opener, bruh. I miss matches like this where people didn't take themselves too fucking seriously. They knew their job was to actually hype up the fucking crowd. They weren't going out there to have a classic 5-star match. But even then, they still kept within their niche and they delivered, in my opinion. But just to reverse back for a second, the nostalgia. Nothing warms my fucking heart like seeing an Attitude Era intro. Nothing warms my heart when seeing stuff like that, bro. And we have Vince McMahon backstage, and he's talking to the rest of the McMahon-Helmsley regime, and he's telling them, are you guys ready? All right, Shane, are you ready to kick the crap out of the Big Show? And Shane is like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? He didn't say that, but, you know, whenever I see Shane and Big Show, that's where I automatically go to. And then he's like talking to X-Pac and Road Dogg. He's like, are you guys going to kick the Dudley Boys' asses? And Road Dogg's like, my name is X-Pac. I like to go suck it. And then Road Dogg is like, with my baby tonight. You guys are too young for that shit. And then he's like, Triple H, are you ready to beat The Rock's ass? Triple H is like, ugh. You're damn right, I'm gonna beat The Rock's ass. Ugh. Then I'm gonna abide by his rules when he becomes my boss in about 25 years. Ugh. But for tonight, I'm gonna kick his ass. Ugh. And then Gerald Briscoe brings his Neanderthal ass inside there, and he's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Man. I'm late to the party. Pat Patterson, he missed his air flight because he's busy somewhere in some hotel getting his ass round by his boyfriend. But I can go get you some coffee, Mr. McMahon. Massa. Burst! And then he went to go get the coffee, but then Headbanger Mosh and Hamburger Thrasher, they started to beat the crap out of him because he is the hardcore champion, and the 24/7 rule is absolutely in full effect. And then you had Kurt Angle come out to the ring preparing for the 6-man tag match, and I gotta tell you, bro, the amount of things I see in just this one little section, I swear will get WWE canceled so fucking fast, bro, just because they're even joking like that. The signs that you're seeing in the crowd, because Kurt Angle, he gets on the microphone, bro, I don't know where, he said this, I don't know where he's going with this. He's like, I want you guys to understand that some of the kids, they think I'm, air quotes, all that and a bag of chips. And I don't know if you know this, but teenagers love me. And I'm like, Kurt, where are we going with this? And then when he goes, teenagers love me, they immediately cut to a sign that goes, report Kurt Angle. I'm like, where are we going with this, bro? What are we doing here? And then eventually Edge and Christian, they come out, and then they have like some hillbilly gimmick or some fucking gear inside some bag, and then they start pretending like they're a bunch of fucking hillbillies playing some jugs and some instruments and shit. Y'all come back now, you heard? And then you had the match with Rikishi and Too Cool. And again, it was a fun match. I mean, there was one suspect ass spot where Grandmaster Sigh, his pants dropped. Inexplicably. I don't know why his pants dropped. I don't know how his pants dropped, but his pants dropped. Obviously, they did it on purpose. And then Scotty 2 Hotty, he's like laughing. He's like, look at you. You got a little dick, boy. Oh, look at your dick. Your dick is really tiny. And then Jerry Lawler is like, yeah, my son's dick is tiny. It must be hereditary. And then, like, they continue on with the match. And like I said, it was a fun match, bro. I miss people having characters, man. Edge and Christian has a character. Kurt Angle has a character. Too Cool has a character. Rikishi has a character. They have conflict with each other. They go back and forth with each other. And it was a fun match. The finish, as I talked about earlier, came where Rikishi, he got hit in the head with a bell, right? So, like, Rikishi had Edge up for a Rikishi driver, right? Or, I think, what was it? Bam Bam Bigelow's finisher, the little... I know that's the Rikishi driver, but I guess you can call it Bam Bam's little fucking set out power driver he used to do over the shoulder. And like when he's about to hit it, Christian comes in the ring for ring bell and he hits Rikishi over the head with it, which leads Edge to go for a pinfall. Unbeknownst to the referee who's trying to get the wrestlers out of the ring, Grandmaster Sigh, he comes out with a diving leg draw. I think we used to call it the Tennessee Jam or some shit like that. That's what we used to call it. He hits like a diving leg drop on Edge as he's pinning Rikishi, and then Rikishi goes for the pinfall, and it looks like Kurt Angle was supposed to break it up, but he didn't make it in time, and it ended up being Too Cool winning the match. Now, I will say a couple of things. One, the guys in this match, man, they look so young. Rest in peace to Grandmaster Sexy too, bro. They all look so young. And it's like, I remember how they looked like right here, like it was yesterday. And, you know, again, it's one of those things where you realize you're getting fucking old, and none of them look that way today. You know, all of them, for the most part, are retired. Christian and Edge are still going strong right now in AEW, but, I mean, that's putting it mildly. And, you know, Grandmaster Sexy's no longer with us, you know what I mean? So it was bittersweet watching this match and just looking at their faces to see how young and vibrant they were. And, you know, again, it kind of bummed me out a little bit looking at shit like that. But, you know, like I said, it was a fun match. It got the crowd all riled up. The crowd was fucking piping hot for this match without any excuse of needing some weird-ass chants or shit like that. No. Just a piping hot fucking crowd. What more can you ask for in your wrestling events? And also, can I just say this too? I'm going to get this all in the intro. I do miss how pay-per-views used to have their own identity. You know, whenever you watch AEW, it's like all the arenas look the same. WWE, if it's not WrestleMania, all the arenas look the same. I mean, they had their own little special logo, the nameplates, all that good old shit attached to the fucking theme of the pay-per-view, and, you know, the crowd with their signs. Everything just felt so hot, bro. I don't know. I miss this era so much. I just miss this era so much. It's like you watch wrestling today, and it's like, it's just not the same. I don't think you guys who are so young who watch professional wrestling, if you just only knew how fucking awesome it was to be living through and watching the Attitude Era, man. It was a special time. It was a really special time. You know, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I don't know. I might actually say that this should have probably been the opener, and the crowd would have probably got a little bit more hotter for it compared to like the 6-man tag match, which I think with the participants would have been hot nonetheless. I think they should have swapped it up and this should have been the opener, because this was a hell of a match, but the crowd, they weren't dead per se, and they started to get hyped up a little bit towards the end of the match, but it wasn't quite like it was in the opener. And again, these guys went out there and they fucking killed them, man. This was a fantastic triple threat match for the European Championship. I like how they all set it up too. Again, this is why I love NXT so much also, if I can just compare it to today, because this is the kind of shit that NXT does, where like, even before a match, just to kind of let you know that, hey, this is important, or hey, focus on this, or hey, let's give you a quick little description of who these characters are. They show just a small, nothing big, just a small 1-minute little clip backstage of the guys coming to the arena, getting ready to come to the match. That's the kind of shit that NXT does, that I fucking love so much. That was pretty well known to happen during the Attitude Era. That's why it was so easy to relate and so easy to figure out who the characters were during this time, because they did shit like this all the time. You had Eddie Guerrero in China. They came up in his Chevy, bruh. This is not too far after Eddie won the Intercontinental Championship from Jericho. He defended it against S.A. Rios at Backlash the previous month. I actually reviewed that show a couple of years ago on my own Millennial Smart channel. Hopefully I get to review it again. But you know, China coming at the car looking pretty fucking bad, bro. China looking like she can get the D. Rest in peace. Respectfully get the D. And then here comes Eddie Guerrero, Mr. Latino Heat. Bruh, his fucking, bro, hearing Eddie come out to the ring, bro, just brought us so much, because I'm so used to hearing this Viva la Raza. You know, I forgot that his old theme song, bro. I used to know that shit. I think I still know the lyrics, bro. What was it? Latino Heat. Latino Heat. Latino Heat. Latino Heat. What was it? Because the first part was in Spanish. It was like something about it was like something like Splendor the Tree or something like that. Oh, Estiero. What was it? Mi Estiero aquí. Con Latino Heat. Picking up the honeys that look so sweet. I slam them on the mat, and damn, bro, hearing that just brought back so many memories, bro. And then they actually had the match in itself too. Again, it was a fun match. Lots of really, really cool maneuvers that you will see in today's professional wrestling. Very Japanese oriented is probably what I would say. You know, you got a tiger soup, what would you call it? Like a tiger bomb from Malenko. You got a gnarly looking fucking, they kind of fucked it up a little bit, but not too much if you're not paying too much attention to it. Eddie did his famous, walk up the ropes, and then, guys, he has like you in a Greco-Roman lock. Then he runs up the ropes, and then he jumps off it as a Hurricane Rana, or I guess a Frankensteiner, depending on how you look at it, to Malenko. A pop-up Frankensteiner from Perey Saturn onto Eddie. Well, he pops up Eddie Guerrero and he hits him with a Frankensteiner. There was this really, really cool spot too, where Perey Saturn, after he did Eddie's frog splash, or really a body splash, but they called it a frog splash. Let's just go with it because there was a gimmick attached to this. He did Eddie's move, and then he turned around and did Malenko's Texas Cloverleaf. Out of that, you had Eddie, who picked up, I think Perey Saturn picked up Eddie Guerrero, and then Malenko came behind Perey Saturn and picked up Perey Saturn, who was picking up Eddie Guerrero, and he ended up hitting a back suplex on Perey Saturn, who ended up hitting a back suplex on Eddie Guerrero. I really fucked with that spot. That was really cool. And then the finish essentially came when Perey Saturn rolled out the ring, and then Chyna, who had a bouquet of flowers in her hand, hit Perey Saturn with the flowers, and he was laid the fuck out. I thought it was a brick at first. We'll get to that in a minute. When you had Malenko, he was getting ready to sell for a Texas Cloverleaf. Eddie pushed him off, and then he was on the ropes, and then Chyna was about to hit him with the flowers before he blocked it. And then Eddie dropped toe hold Malenko, who had the flowers in his hand, but he's trying to like brace his fall with the flowers, and when he braced his fall, he got dropped toe hold onto the quote-unquote flowers, and then Eddie hit him with a La Maestra roll, and then got the win off that roll-up. And he revealed that it wasn't a bouquet of flowers, it was a pipe bouquet of flowers, which I thought was really cool. Again, it was a fun match, solid match. The only thing about it, I wish the crowd would have been a little bit more into it, because I feel like these guys would have got a hell of a lot more respect if they would have did all that in today's professional wrestling, because the crowd, they weren't really with it, and I understand it's the Attitude Era, they're all about characters and stuff. I fuck with that, but this match deserved a little bit more of appreciation than what it got. And again, seeing Eddie and Chyna out there once again, just at the beginning, very nostalgic. Rest in peace to both of them. I miss them both. Chyna's been gone for almost a decade. Eddie's been gone for almost 2 decades. Crazy, but nonetheless, I can't keep ending these fucking matches with just sad news about people dying, bro. I can't keep doing that over and over again. Regardless, it was a fun match, and I really did adore it, and I just wish the crowd would appreciate it a little bit more. Okay, so this is weird. This is really fucking fun, but I hardly would call this a match. This is like a glorified handicap match, or like maybe a glorified handicap gauntlet match. Does that make any sense? This wasn't really a match. So Big Show was beating the fuck out of Shane McMahon, right? And like he had the advantage, threw him over the barricade, slammed him on the steel steps, all this shit, right? For like the first 2 to 3 minutes. And when it looks like he was going to put him away, you had TNA come out, Testin Albert. And Bo Buchanan and Big Boss Man came out first to try to help out Shane McMahon. Big Show took care of them. Then out of nowhere, TNA came out, Testin Albert and Trish Stratus. They had chairs in their hand. Big Show punched the chair in their face like he used to do all the time. Trish tried to hit him in the nuts with a low blow. For some reason, Big Show didn't sell it because I guess his dick is really tiny. I guess that's what they're telling me. He picked up Trish, and I guess he choke slammed her out to the ring. But don't worry, Testin Albert caught her because, you're not trying to murder people on television. Although I will say, just the Attitude Era, you gotta love it. I forgot that it was so cool. I mean, because you live back then and you don't really notice it because it's just the norm. Like we just weren't that sensitive as a society back then. I mean, everybody takes everything so seriously nowadays. Back then, we didn't really give a shit about misogyny, sexism, misogyny, sexism. Because like you had Trish Stratus get chokeslammed out of the ring, and Jim Ross is just on commentary. He was like, that bitch. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way you get away with that in today's society. Nevertheless, though, Shane McMahon is trying to run away from Big Show. And it gets to a point where Big Show catches him. He takes him, he throws him up against the whole little, he picks him up, and then he throws him up against like the fucking, like, you know, like the little Titantron structure, the little metal piece hanging off the Titantron that holds it in place, like the frame. He picks him up and he throws him up against it. He actually did that to the build up to their match also. Well, he did that, and he picks up, like, he breaks off a piece of the structure beams, right? You know, the little shit that Shane McMahon, you know, usually climbs up, and then he jumps off the little silver fucking beam piece. Big Show breaks off a piece of that, and it looks like hear me out. He looks like he's struggling to pick it up to go hit Shane with it, right? And like Shane, he jumps onto one of the beams like a cat, and then he swings his legs and he kicks it out of Big Show's hand, right? Big Show's selling, Shane is selling. And then here comes Test and Albert to help out Shane, but Test picks up the beam. It looks like Big Show was selling, making it look like it was super heavy to make it look more intense as far as what he was doing. And like, you know, Test just comes out of nowhere and he picks up the beam like it was fucking nothing. I'm like, whoa, way to ruin the fucking spot, Test. Even Shane is trying to like recover, and he like gets the beam to move it to the side to put it on top of the little metal cases they have to, and he's like trying to make it look like it's heavy. Say, no, Test already ruined the spot, Shane, don't worry about it. He puts it on top of one of those little cases they have, you know, little rolling cases they put equipment inside, and then like he pushes that with the on top of the case onto Big Show, and he hits Big Show with it. He goes for a pin cover. Big Show kicks out of it, and then he starts to beat the fuck out of Test. He beats the fuck out of Albert. Shane is trying to get away from by climbing up one of the beams, and then here comes Bo Buchanan. He comes back into the picture with a nightstick, and he starts to just pound and beat the ever-loving shit out of the Big Show with that little nightstick. And while Big Show is laid out, his leg is like right underneath one of those speakers like they play the music out of, and then Shane goes and he pushes the speaker on top of Big Show, which land directly on his legs, and then, you know, explosions start shooting out of the speakers and shit, and Big Show is right there, and he's like writhing in pain, and then Bo Buchanan gets on top of the speakers, which is already on top of his legs, and Big Show, he's like writhing in fucking pain and in agony, and while he's doing that, Shane McMahon picks up a cinder block and he hits Big Show over the head while he's like in pain with the speaker on his leg, which knocks Big Show completely out cold, and Shane gets the win. Again, it wasn't much of a match. It felt more like an angle than it did a match. You know, like a really, really long angle is what it felt like. Nevertheless, though, I had a lot of fun with it. I think I might give this an NA. I don't think I feel right judging it. I mean, I guess, I gotta give it a rating. But then again, I probably give it a decent rating because I had fun with it. But it wasn't necessarily what I would call a match. Now, I'll give it an NA. Because I wouldn't know how to grade it. It's like not a match, but I had fun watching it. That's the best way I could say it. I will say, though, because they took this same feud and then they did it again a year later at Backlash in 2001 in their last man standing match. Just the roles are reversed this time. Big Show's the heel and Shane McMahon's the face. And, you know, I always did that when we were kids. We used to do the whole little, which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Damn, man, this whole show is just fucking straight nostalgia. It's just kidding me like a fucking brick. Kind of like what Shane hit Big Show over the head with, but a little bit less harder, though. Well, probably not, because that shit was gimmick, because otherwise Big Show be dead right now. You know, fun fact, I think they actually did this to write Big Show, off of television. I could be wrong. Was this the show that Big Show got written on? I think it was. Because, personally, I could be wrong. The next time we seen Big Show after this match, maybe, I feel like I've seen him with Shane, Kurt, and Edge and Christian. I feel like they were a group together, although I could be wrong. Was this the last time we seen Big Show before he got written off of television? No. They did show up again, because that's when they attacked the Undertaker, if I'm not mistaken, later on that year, like around Fully Loaded or King of the Ring time. Because I was gonna say, was this the angle that they did to write him off of television when he went to OVW for a little bit before he came back to the Rumble? I think they wrote him off a couple of months later. I don't think it was this incident right here, or this match right here, or angle, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I think it was a few months later. But nevertheless, though, I have fun watching it, but I don't really feel comfortable grading it. Let's continue on. Man, we just don't get aggression like that anymore, man. God damn, I miss Benoit so much. I know people are like, and yes, obviously, I get it. Benoit is evil. Benoit, he did heinous, unforgivable things. maybe I should even say I miss Chris Benoit. I don't mean it in the sense that I want Chris Benoit to come back and not face the consequences of his actions, because if there was ever a chance that he ever came back and he was reincarnated, you're goddamn right he should get the death penalty and get killed again. I'm not saying that, and I'm sorry that I phrased it that way. I mean, I just miss that intensity. The closest thing I could think of is someone like a Gunther, honestly. Maybe that's why I appreciate Gunther so much, because just the way Gunther carries on with his matches just reminds me so much of the intensity when watching the heel Chris Benoit go out there and do his thing. And man, it's just such a... I mean, you're talking to me. I mean, you guys already know how I felt about it. It's Benoit and Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship. What the fuck else do you expect me to think? Like, of course, I love this match. You know, and like I said, I've seen it so many times in the past before. You know, I will say this, though. Out of all their matches, they had another submission match in Japan, like around February or March of 2005. This isn't their first submission match. You know, or I guess this was their first one in WWE at least. Maybe they had a few more in Japan or something like that, but I know for a fact in WWE this is like 1 out of 2 of submissions matches that they had. They had the next one in 2005 in February around that time. That's when Edge fought, I think, Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship on that show also. Again, it was stemming from Japan, and that was a great match too. I actually liked that match on Raw in 2005. I like that match better than this match. Not to say that this match was bad by any means, but I felt like they did more in that match. They traded more holes in that match versus this one right here. They weren't really necessarily trading holes all too much. Jericho, he tried to get in the walls Jericho a few times, but he never did. Or he did get... No, he didn't. Did he? No, he didn't get in the walls Jericho in this match. No, I think he attempted to. And Benoit had like a knee brace on. Excuse me. Benoit had a knee brace on from a heinous attack from Hardcore Holly about a week prior to this, when Hardcore Holly just beat the fuck out of Benoit with a chair. So he had a knee brace on, and he used that knee brace to hit Jericho in the head. And like when he locked in the cripple crossface, he had to do it like 3 different occasions. By the 3rd occasion, he didn't lock in the cripple crossface like the traditional cripple crossface, where like he'll put it on the bridge on the nose, he'll hyperextend the shoulder to put all the leverage on the shoulders, and then he'll pull back on the neck, so you'll feel all that extension going in your shoulders and then your upper neck and your upper body. He didn't do it he didn't do it that way. He instead locked in the cripple crossface, but he put it on Jericho's neck. So when he pulled back on the crossface, he essentially choked him out, technically speaking, and that's what happened with Jericho. He didn't tap out, he passed out, because again, Benoit didn't lock in the cripple crossface in the traditional manner. He locked it in a manner where it became like a glorified chokehold, technically. And like I said, overall, the match in itself, them trading shots back and forth with the chops is just... fuck, I live for that shit. I absolutely live for that shit. Now, like I said, it wasn't their best match. Obviously, their best match is their ladder match, but I like their Backlash match better than this. I like their 2 out of 3 Falls match at SummerSlam better than this. Obviously, all their stuff that they did in Japan when he was Wild Pegasus, I love that shit more than this also. I would definitely say this is probably the weaker of their matches. They had a one-on-one match, and on Raw, also right before the Japan match, it was just a standard one-on-one match. Jericho won that match. And then they had the Japan match in the submission, which Benoit won that. I wish they would have ran it back one more time before Jericho left in 2005, because obviously when Jericho came back, Benoit was already gone by that point. But like I said, fantastic match. Best match on the show so far. I mean, not really. It's not as if that's actually saying much, because it's Benoit and Jericho. I mean, they don't know how to have a bad match, but more so because the matches for tonight, they're fun. They're really fun. Don't get it twisted. But from an in-ring perspective, they're not really doing much. You know, the opener was pretty solid, but I mean, like actually going out there and having a technical masterpiece like they did in this match right here. No, none of that happened. So I guess it's not really like I'm comparing it to anything special, but definitely the weakest out of all their matches, but also just a strong match in the card so far for the Intercontinental Championship. And you had Val Venus and Hardcore Holly watching backstage too, which I think this is when, I could be wrong, did Val Venus win the IC belt after this? Because I know he dropped the belt to Eddie at SummerSlam in that mixed tag match with him and Trish going up against Eddie in China, but I'm not sure whether or not he won the Intercontinental, because I know I didn't talk about this in the opener, but I know Too Cool, I think this was the week, or maybe a week later, where they beat Edge and Christian for the Tag Team Championship belts, because that's when they had Kid Rock's mascot. I don't know if you guys remember. He passed away too, actually. I think he passed away in 2000, a few months after this. Kid Rock used to have this mascot named Josie, something like that. I think it was Josie was his name. Joey C or Josie, one of those things. I mean, it's been a fucking shit long time before I've seen this shit. But yeah, he cost Edge and Christian the tag team championship belts for Too Cool to win their match. And Edge and Christian, they got the belts back. I think they had like a fatal 4-way tag team match at the King of the Ring, and they got their tag team belts back. But I'm trying to remember. I remember them doing that, but I can't remember whether or not, because Val Venis did win the IC belt. I just can't remember if it was this week or, you know, a couple of weeks later. I can't remember. But I mean, Benoit did go on the King of the Ring without the Intercontinental Championship, so maybe it was. I don't know. But nevertheless, great match as always with these two. They don't know how to have a bad match. So I wouldn't quite necessarily say this is on the same level as the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys earlier this year in 2000 at the Royal Rumble. No, nowhere near quite that level. But this was still fun for what it's worth. I liked it. I liked it. Again, maybe a little bit too slow moving, and I hated the fact that they did that is so stupid, and it's so fucking weird. They did a standard. So mind you, this is a tag team table match. And for some reason, they're allowing legal tags in the ring. Like, it's a no disqualification match. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are they abiding by tags and shit like that? That was stupid. And that actually slowed down the pacing of the match a little tiny bit. Now, granted, they started to get more into it. And as they were going towards the finish, things started to pick up. So you had Devon Dudley, Road Dogg put him through the table. I think over pump handle something. I kind of looked away for a second, so I'm not quite sure how Devon went through the table. But I think he went through with a pump handle, or I guess a pump handle drop technically, because he didn't like slam him. Because a pump handle slam is kind of like, you know, putting them into like a over the shoulder position, kind of like a Oklahoma Stampede. Pump handle drop is picking them up as if you're about to drop them. Like I guess Rhea Ripley would be a pump handle drop with a sit out, but essentially, you know, that's kind of the Riptide, but without the pinning motion. But Road Dogg put Devon Dudley through the table, and then Road Dogg, no, I think X-Pac went through the table next when he tried to do like a X Factor, or I don't know, like a pop-up Hurricane Run. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to go for. Bubba Ray lifted him up in the air though, and then caught him in a powerbomb position, and then put him through the table, right? And then Dudley Boys had the advantage, right? They even him and Road Dogg, they were kind of getting a little bit goofy, and they hit like a double arm takedown, like a tag team double arm drag, I guess you can call it, or arm whip technically, to a referee through a corner table, which didn't break it all the way because that referee probably weighs less than I do. And you had them put Road Dogg through a table because it was down to either Bubba Ray or Road Dogg being the next ones to be put through a table. It was Road Dogg. He got 3D through the table, but the referee was out. This made Gerald Briscoe come out to the ring, and he was trying to help save the DX from the Dudley Boys winning the match. He was attacking Bubba Ray. He was attacking Devon. Eventually, we did get to, because they were actually about to powerbomb Tori. Not Tori Wilson, Tori with an I, you know, the one who was with X-Pac and Kane. We talked about this during the Armageddon pay-per-view review. I highly recommend going back to that show if you want to get more of my inclusive thoughts in regards to that. But Tori's a full-blown heel now. She's already signed with X-Pac. Been with X-Pac for a couple of months now, actually, obviously. But they were going to put Tori through a table. Like, Tori put them through a table, which, by the way, is the loading screen for SmackDown 2, if you guys didn't know that. You know, Tori's loading screen is her doing that's the spot that she did the Bubba Ray through a table. That's the loading screen. If any of you guys care about that, you don't give a fuck about that. You probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking SmackDown 2. Okay, Grandpa, let us know what kind of video games you used to play back in the days, Grandpa. Bitch ass niggas. Regardless, though, we got to a point where when Bubba Ray was going to put Tori through a table, Gerald Briscoe punched him in the gut and stopped it. He safely pulled Tori down, and while Bubba Ray was selling it, because he was going to powerbomb him off the turnbuckle through the table, he was selling a gut shot from Gerald Briscoe. X-Pac took advantage of this, and he ended up hitting an X Factor off the turnbuckle to Bubba Ray through the table that was outside the ring, or inside the ring. You get what I'm trying to say? He X-Factored him off the turnbuckle through the table, right? And Gerald Briscoe woke up the referee, which he's seen it, and then he rang the bell and gave the win to DX. So they're leaving the ring with Tori and Gerald Briscoe because he can't leave well enough alone. He's mocking the Dudley Boys, which made the Dudley Boys put him through a table with a 3D. And again, it was a fine match. Again, I very much like the Hardy Boys match a hell of a lot more, and this is probably one of the I guess I'm not gonna say it was the worst, but I guess one of the worst table matches, I guess is probably the best way to say, even though it was still a fine match. I probably wouldn't go 3 stars, maybe like 2 3/4, but I did dig it though for what it was worth. I thought it was fun, nice. It didn't hurt the card at all is what I'm trying to say. But with that being said, we get to the main event. I got a whole fucking hour to watch this match uninterrupted, so this is going to be fun. Triple H versus The Rock, WWF Championship. I remember how I felt about this match when I was a kid. Let's see if I feel the same way going into it as an adult, watching it like for the first time in 4 years. With that being said, let's get to it. Triple H versus The Rock, the guys who are running the company with Shawn Michaels as special referee, the guy who's running the developmental the developmental branch of the company. God damn, I got tongue twisted. Okay, let's get to the fucking match before I say something stupid. Oh my god, bro, this match was a roller coaster. I forgot how much I fucking love this match. Oh man, I forgot how much I love this match. This was so fucking good. This is one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. I forgot how much I fucking love this match. Oh, and it brought back so many memories, man. I still remember running around my house, making popcorn during the match, using the bathroom during the match. Not saying that these are bad things, just this is the memory that I had when I was 9 years old or 8 years old, I guess at the time. And, you know, playing with my action figures and listening to the TV for the full hour, listening to them go at it. And then it just comes right back to me, and I start to watch this match again, and this is just a fucking masterpiece. Triple H and Rock went in there and they put on a fucking clinic. I will say, there is one little tidbit that I did have a problem with. And I get it, you're tired in an Iron Man match, so maybe that can be a little bit of an excuse, I guess. But some of the moves that they were getting wins off of, you know, that does kind of bother me a little bit, that like in any other normal match that would never be the case. Because like I don't mind the whole, you know, having so many pinfalls within an Iron Man match. That's what made the match a little bit different compared to the first stuff. Because this is only the second ever Iron Man match in WWE history, believe it or not. The first one obviously was with Bret and Shawn at WrestleMania like 4 years prior to this. But like, you know, Rock got a pinfall. One of the pinfalls he got it off of was like a regular DDT, which, yeah, I get it. The DDT used to be a finish, but at the same time, this is like, what, maybe 10 years into the fact that the last time someone actually used it, maybe not even 10 years, like 8 years maybe? Because when did Jake leave WWE? Like in, what, 92 is when he went to WCW? He left like right after WrestleMania 8, right? Like, man, a DDT, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the complete opposite of what we see in wrestling nowadays, where guys, they kick out of fucking everything. In this Iron Man match, they were not kicking out of shit. Fatigue level was all the way the fuck up. I mean, but it was pretty cool watching like little small things that they never usually do. Like, for an example, you know, Triple H getting a small package. You never see Triple H go for small packages, right? And not to mention, you know, I think this was around the time when they had the power driver ban on, right? Outside of Kane and Taker. And Triple H, he got a pinfall off of a power driver, which I thought was really fucking unique. And I did like the spot also. This is one of the first times. I mean, yeah, you've seen it years down the road, you know, but I did like the whole like Triple H hitting Rock in the head with a chair in order to give up a victory, only for him to pick up the victory immediately. But he weakened the Rock down enough because Rock is like bleeding, gushing out blood, and it's like he wanted to keep that advantage, so he sacrificed one of his pinfalls or sacrificed one of his points in order to get it immediately, just to lock in a sleeper hold to the Rock, who's just gushing blood. And eventually Rock passes out, and that gave Triple H another point. And I like the fact that they built this all up. You have the Rock outside the ring with Triple H. He hits Triple H's own pedigree to him outside the ring on the announcement table, which busted open Triple H also. And then we get to the finish, right? The clock is ticking down. Rock is down. He's down. I think the score at this point is like 4-5 or something like that. And then the Rock, he hits Triple H, I think with a people's elbow, if I'm not mistaken, and he tied it up. I think it was the people's elbow that tied it up, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was the Rock bottom. I think it was the people's elbow. I could be wrong though. I think it was people's elbow. But regardless though, the score was like 5-5, right? And Rock and Triple H, they're battling back and forth. The clock is ticking down. We got like 2 minutes left. We have like 1.5 minutes left. And then, because they was running this vignette these past couple of weeks, right, with these 3, I don't know what you would say, ghostly gothic looking little girls, and like they were saying, he's here, and evil has been beckoning upon us. And it's pretty obvious it's the Undertaker. I mean, not just because of like the thematic stuff that was going on with all of it, but you can hear like excerpts from the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness theme a little bit, and what, like, not his entire thing, but okay, maybe not, I'm sorry, not his Ministry of Dark. Okay, so like when Taker first started the Ministry of Darkness, right, he would do like these sacrificial things back in the days, right, even before he used to put the people on the cross and shit like that, or the Undertaker symbol. Like, for example, Midian, when he was sacrificing Midian, I remember they were playing this song in the background. It sounded like something from Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island type of shit. That's the kind of music they were playing in the background, right? And they played that same type of music when they were showing like the haunted girls. They even showed the promo package before Rock and Triple H had a match, and they mentioned Judgment Day. So it was pretty obvious it was the Undertaker. I mean, obviously, but he did show up. Apparently, he was supposed to show up a couple of months prior to this, but he re-injured his groin or something like that. I think he had a groin injury. He re-injured or something along the lines of that. I can't remember what the injury was, but I think his initial injury, I know, was a groin injury, but I think he either re-injured it or he fucked up another portion of his body exercising, I think, like right before the Royal Rumble. So he was out for a little bit longer, but he came back. He's now the American Badass. He drives down on his motorcycle. We have a couple of seconds left. He starts to clear house. He gives Shane McMahon a chokeslam, and then he gives X-Pac. Let me tell you something, folks. You need to go look up Undertaker chokeslamming X-Pac at Judgment Day. The height X-Pac got on this. This is by far the greatest looking chokeslam I have ever seen in professional wrestling. The height that Taker got on X-Pac with this chokeslam was so goddamn fucking beautiful and so goddamn awe-inspiring. You gotta go look that up. Taker chokeslamming X-Pac. He got so much fucking height on it. But eventually it got to a point where Taker had Triple H in the Tombstone Powerdriver. And it's like Shawn Michaels, who got knocked off the apron earlier, he's like back in the ring, and it's seconds. It's ticking down. We got like 5 seconds left, or 10 seconds left, or whatever the case may be. And the score is tied. It's 5-5, And Taker, he has Triple H in the Tombstone Powerdriver, and Shawn Michaels, he's up, and he's telling Taker, do not do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. And then Taker hit Triple H with the Tombstone Powerdriver, which caused Shawn Michaels to call for a disqualification, and it gave the point to Triple H seconds before the match ended. And then the match ended, and Triple H won the match off of disqualification thanks to The Undertaker. And everybody is looking crazy. Even Taker's like, oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. I done fucked up. Then I did it. It just did fucked up. And he's like trying to save face in character, obviously. But he's trying to save face by like intimidating the rest of the McMahon-Helmsley regime. The Rock is busted open. He's pissed off and confused as to what the fuck just occurred. And this was just beautiful. This was just storytelling upon storytelling upon storytelling. I have a hard time trying to figure out, now that I rewatched this match again, I do have a hard time because the two best Iron Man matches of all time, please miss me with the Goldberg Kurt Angle. No, it wasn't. I mean, Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle. No, it wasn't. It's MJF and Daniel Bryan still. I'm sorry. That is still the best Iron Man match of all time. Or is it? I still kind of find myself having to weigh which one do I find better. Is it the Bryan Danielson MJF match that took place at Revolution, I think, like a year ago? Or is it Triple H and The Rock at Judgment Day? Those right there are going to be the yin and the yang as far as my two favorite Iron Man matches of all time. But this match is fucking fantastic. Just fucking beautiful. I also have a hard time trying to figure out which match do I find to be better out of the Triple H Rock, because I mean, you have three matches off the top of my head when it comes to Rock and Triple H. Which one do I find better? It's either the ladder match at SummerSlam 98, right? Not even the ladder match, I'm sorry, you know what, I wouldn't even say the ladder match, believe it or not, that'd be an honorable mention. A fantastic underrated match from Triple H and The Rock is actually their 2 out of 3 Falls match at Fully Loaded that same year in 98, right before their SummerSlam match. And I have a hard time picking between a 2 out of 3 Falls match, this match right here, or the match prior to this at Backlash 2000. It's one of those three matches, in my opinion. If you said the ladder match instead of the 2 out of 3 falls match, I can understand. I personally would say that's an honorable mention, but I would say that personally for me, I found the 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship. I found that match better than the ladder match, in my opinion. Although the ladder match did kick ass, though. I kind of say that maybe I might go towards the Backlash match only because it's just the pinnacle of my childhood, and just Rock winning the championship. I still remember going insano style inside my living room, jumping for fucking joy. And, you know, just the build up to that match. That's my first, believe it or not, I've been watching wrestling at that point for about off and on for about 4 years. That Backlash match, or that whole build to Backlash right after WrestleMania 2000, was my first time actually watching wrestling on a weekly basis. That was my first event that I actually paid attention to. No uncles, no friends, no cousins, just me engaging with the product by myself. The whole build to Backlash 2000 was my first experience of actually treating wrestling kind of like, you know, a religion. That was my first time being a super fan, watching that whole build. So there's a special place in my heart for Backlash 2000. So maybe I might go with Backlash 2000, but then I'd probably go with the Iron Man match as my second favorite match out of their whole trilogy. And honestly, this is probably, guy, it's so hard because, man, one of these days I gotta do a tier list for the best matches in 2000. There's just so many great fucking matches in 2000. Would I put this in my top 5? I can't say number 1, because number 1 will probably most likely be Triple H and Jack at the Rumble. That'd probably be my number 1 favorite match of the year. But then you got TLC at SummerSlam also. That's a great fucking match. Then you got Triple H and Jericho in the Last Man Standing match. And like I said, Triple H and The Rock at Backlash was a fantastic fucking match. Then you got the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match, right? God, man, 2000 has so many great fucking matches. So many great matches that even though this is one of the best Iron Man matches of all time, one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion, honestly, I still can't quite put it in my top 5. That's how crazy 2000 was for a year. This match wouldn't even make my top 5, when in some cases, this would be the best match of the year, and any other year, this would be the best match of the year. But because of the year 2000, it's so fucking insane, I wouldn't even know if this would crack my top 5. I wouldn't know. And just overall, I fucking love this show. I had a blast watching this. Now, granted, some people may say to themselves, "Oh, Devontae, look at the match ratings. Do you actually look at that and you would say to yourself that this is an 8.25? Yeah, because you got to think about it. You have the first half of the show, which I thought was fun. You know, the matches were good. They hit their points. Just because you see NA in the Big Show and Shane McMahon match, that's because I don't know how to judge it. That still doesn't take away from the fact that it was fun. The crowd was hot as fuck. That's just the first half. And then the second half of it, you got a 4.5 star match right here in front of your face with these guys, and that's taking up half the fucking show damn near. So of course, Triple H and Rock doing all that alone is a 4.5 star match, and that's half of the fucking show. So of course, this is a great fucking pay-per-view. And yeah, I fucking had a blast watching this, man. I actually kind of want to go watch Raw is the World the night after this, because I know this is when Rock went on his rampage and he started to beat the crap out of everybody, hitting the McMahons with a trash. That's the thing when Vince McMahon was getting in the and when Rock threw Vince in the limo, and then Vince sticks his head out and he's like, "I hate you, Rock, I hate you," and then the Rock picks up the trash can lid and he hits Vince in the head with it, and he tells the limo driver to go drive off. And when he caught D-Generation X in the bear trap, bro, wrestling was so fucking crazy back then, man. But the King of the Ring came up the following month, and it was a 6-man tag match with the Undertaker, eventually a returning Kane, and The Rock taking on Triple H, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon, which I won't go too deep into. You know what? I actually won't talk about the match at all, because it's one of these days there's a good shot that I'm going to actually end up reviewing that show, and I want to save it for that review, if you will. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the description. Comment section below. How did you like the show? Did you stroll down memory lane with your boy? How did you feel about the main event? Is this one of your favorite Iron Man matches of all time? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm out of 2000. Deuces, P. Eyes.